Ladies and gentlemen, Shamu. I'd like to introduce Shamu trainer, Tom.
Thanks a lot, James. We're all very excited to be here today to show you how we care for these amazing animals. Shamu's story began when a large adult male killer whale was accidentally caught in some fishing nets up in British Columbia. That whale was named Namu after a local fishing port, and he was soon moved to Seattle, Washington, where he became the first killer whale to be on public display up in the Pacific Northwest. A young female soon joined him and was named Shamu, which is a contraction of the word she and Namu. Now, Shamu then became the first killer whale to travel by airplane when she came here to SeaWorld San Diego in 1965. She made a very powerful and instant connection with the public who knew very little about these amazing animals. We continue to celebrate her name through our entire Shamu family. Now, we're going to introduce you to a member of that family right now. Ladies and gentlemen, coming up here working with his trainer, Art. This is our largest whale. Say hello to Ulysses. Now, Ulysses is a full-grown adult male. He weighs 9,500 pounds. It's almost 5 tons. And believe it or not, that's an average size adult male killer whale. They can actually reach upwards of 16,000 pounds. You are meeting our only two adult males today. Ulysses, he's about 37 years old. And over here with Haley, we've got a 19-year-old. In fact, he'll be 20 years old on February 2nd. He's a 7,000-pound adult male. His name is Keat. Now, he's performing a behavior we call a spin swim. This is a cool behavior to highlight the pectoral flippers. Those are the flippers on the sides of the body that are used for steering and stopping. If you were to x-ray that flipper, you'd see 5 large bones, a lot like the human hand. Now, as Ulysses swims by over on the left-hand side of the stadium, notice the white oval eye spots. Now, the killer whale's eyes are actually located directly in front of that white eye patch right near the corner of the mouth.
There he is, see the whale?
Now, you'll also notice on these two whales the dorsal fin, that's the fin on their back, is significantly curved over. There is no bone in the dorsal fin. That's just dense connective tissue. So the longer they rest at the surface, the warmer that tissue gets, and sometimes it just starts to lean under its own weight. It does not affect them as far as their health or their swimming ability. Now, inside the killer whale's mouth are conically shaped teeth. If you focus your attention off to the right-hand side, we've got Keat going on a behavior we call a mouth open swim. And you get a good look at those teeth. They have between 48 and 56 interlocking teeth that are used for grasping and swallowing their prey whole. They do not chew their food. Now, here at SeaWorld, our whales get between 100 and 200 pounds of restaurant quality fish each and every day.
Equipped with these adaptations, it's no wonder that killer whales are the ocean's top predator and have mastered many techniques of catching their prey.
Killer whales are among the fastest of all marine mammals. So what do you say, Keat? Let's show them what you got. Using those powerful tail flips for propulsion, the killer whales can reach speeds of up to 30 miles an hour. Very nice, buddy. Now get those cameras out in the middle of the pool. You can see they're amazing swimmers, but what's most amazing is the ability to lift over 9,000 pounds completely up and out of the water. Attaboy, Ulysses. With up to 56 conically shaped teeth used for ripping and tearing, it's no wonder that killer whale is the ocean's top predator.
So the same training techniques used for the big, impressive behaviors that you just saw are also utilized in performing daily medical examinations. Our animals are trained to calmly accept regular medical procedures. This is essential in allowing us to more easily diagnose and treat illness. We call this type of training husbandry training. And Tom, could you tell us a little bit more about husbandry training?
Yeah, in addition to training the high energy behaviors, like some of the stuff you just saw, we train the whales on what we call husbandry behaviors, and these are the behaviors we train them on that allow us to take better care of them. Now we're actually showing you a very important behavior right now. This is called a tail fluke present. Both Keat and Ulysses are in a tail fluke present right now. This is an extremely important husbandry behavior to train because this is where we get voluntary blood samples. The veins of the killer whale's tail flukes run very close to the surface, right in here, and they're very close to the top or to the edge of the skin. So the veterinarians come down once every other month, and we get voluntary blood. And by looking at that, we know exactly what's going on with the health of each of the animals. Now, in addition to the fluke presents, we also train them on measurements. They slide up on a scale once a week so we can record their weights. We collect urine from the females. We can tell the progesterone levels of a female and whether or not they might be pregnant. Now, all this data that we collect is very valuable because by collecting it, we can actually track actual growth rates on these whales, something that's very difficult to do out in the wild. Great job, you guys, with that tail fluke present. Thanks a lot.
So like most of the ocean's marine mammals, killer whales have developed complex sounds which they use to communicate and to explore their environment. For over 12 years, research has been done right here at Shamu Stadium on killer whale vocal development. We have a series of underwater microphones called hydrophones embedded in the floor and walls of the underwater viewing pool. Using these microphones allows us to recognize what sounds the animals are making and to localize which animals making the call. Through this research, we found that killer whale vocal development is very similar to that of human language development. Whale calves start just by making cries. They then move on to babbling. And then start to imitate the adults.
Now, from these vocalizations, we've been able to train them on different vocals that can be heard up above the water. And we're going to give you some examples of those vocals right now with Ulysses and Keith. And we got one more.
So it takes some time, but killer whale trainers focus on building strong relationships with the animals. Through our experience, we found the most successful trainers are those who learn along with the animals. So trainers build this strong relationship through training sessions, which are interesting, stimulating, and just plain fun. So here's Katie to talk a little bit more about how we train killer whales.
Thank you, James. Today we'd like to give you the opportunity to see one of our training sessions. Now, we do have a variety of training sessions that we do throughout the day. We actually have an acronym for these called HELPERS. So if you want to take a look right up on the screen, there you go. So H stands for husbandry, which both Ulysses and Keith demonstrated quite well for us. These are slower behaviors, very important for the animal's health and safety, and very trusting of us because we have to allow the vets to come in. So you have to have a very strong relationship with the animals. And then we have E for exercise, just like it's very important for you and I to exercise. It's very important that we exercise our animals every day, get their blood pumping, get them moving pretty well. Then there's L for learning. Now, learning is simply any time an animal is learning a new behavior. This helps keep them mentally stimulated throughout the day. Then we have play sessions. That's just what it sounds like. We simply just have a whole session where we play with our animals. We can use killer whale toys, or just run around the pool, ice cubes, all sorts of fun things, just to have fun with them. And then we have relationships or relates. Now, these are one of the most important sessions throughout the day. This is where you just spend time with your animal. You don't have to ask them any behaviors. You're just hanging out one-on-one, really getting to know each other, enjoying each other's company. And then last but not least, we have shows. We do have our 5 o'clock One Ocean show, which we hope everyone will join us here today to see. But right now, we're actually going to show you a learning session. Now, this is Keith, our 19-year-old male. Now, he is going to be learning a behavior called a belly breach. Now, what that means is he's going to jump up and out of the water and land on his belly. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a couple approximations or small steps to help get him towards that end behavior. So what you might notice, Art right there has a big target pole. It looks a lot like a big giant Q-tip, simply a stick with a buoy on the end. And what our whales are trained to follow that buoy with the front of their face or their rostrum. They also understand that they can touch body parts to it. So right now, Haley will be working Keith. You may have seen she did a signal, or it's like our sign language with the whales. It asks them to do a behavior for us. So she did the belly breach signal, or SD. So what Keith's gonna do is a small bow right there. This is getting his energy up. This is a pretty high energy behavior, so he's gotta build his speed. Now let's watch him here. Hopefully he'll touch that target pole with the front of his face. Very nice. Woo, that was actually a really beautiful belly breach. Very good, Keith. So as you can see, Haley's very excited. You guys can all help us out by rewarding Keith by giving him a big round of applause, because that was actually really, really nice. So you may have also heard a whistle. It sounds a little bit like this. Now that let Keith know he did exactly what we wanted right at that split second that he hears the whistle. So he knows he can stop the behavior, come back to Haley, and get some sort of reward. So this time we're going to do the same thing, but what Art is going to do is a tap withdrawal, which simply that means he's going to tap the target pole so Keith knows where to go, but he's going to remove the pole, and hopefully Keith will remember from this last step how high he has to get and to keep his head up so he lands on his belly. So let's see, with less help, if he can do it. So that's where he should be coming up. Let's see. Very good! That's excellent! So he's actually showing you that he's getting the concept and learning. Very good, Keith. All right, ladies and gentlemen, well, we're going to end on that really wonderful approximation. One more time, let's give it up for Keith. That was an amazing learning session. Lots of success there. That's very exciting. Well, now that you've seen a training session or a learning session, we want to show you just a few of the more spectacular behaviors that you will see in our One Ocean show today at 5 o'clock. But I just want to give everyone a little warning, first and foremost. Everyone in the first 16 rows, either over here to my right, over here to my left, or directly in front of me. These behaviors have the potential to get you wet, and they are very large animals. So if you do not want to get wet with this 55-degree salt water, I advise you to move on up to higher and drier ground. All right, Shamu, let's go!
5 மணிக்கு இருக்கிறது வேறையும் அதோ வேற ஷோ ஏதோ பண்ணுறோம் அங்கே அதுதான் அந்த ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ரோவில் உட்கார்றது நினைச்சது லைக் வெட்ட இடம்ங்க இல்லை 5 மணிக்கு திருப்பி வரணும் அங்கே 5 மணிக்கு வேறு ஏதோ பண்ணுறோம்ல அங்கே அது பிடிக்கிறதுக்கே
Ladies and gentlemen, one more time for Shamu!
So the final chapter of the Shamu story has yet to be written. It's about you and the difference you can make. Killer whales are found in oceans all over the world, but their ocean homes face many threats. Actions that you can do to help keep our world clean can make a big difference. If you'd like to become more involved in the conservation of killer whales and other animals, you can go to our SeaWorld Busch Gardens conservation website at swbg-conservationfund.org.
Later this afternoon, when you join us for the One Ocean Show, we hope that you remember all these things that occur behind the scenes. We're so very honored to share Shamu's story with all of you, and hope that we've inspired you to celebrate, connect, and care for all animals.
We'll be sticking around for a while after the show if you have any questions. We hope you've enjoyed